Data science taps into the power of data to reveal insights, spark innovation, and guide smart decisions. At the heart of this exciting field is the data scientist, a detective uncovering patterns, trends, and predictions hidden in the data. Stay tuned to learn how you can start your data science journey.
What is data science? That it's this sparkly, this beautiful, this amazing to take a look at. Now, data science is one of these studies where we will be having data at hand. We'll have an entity called raw data. Now we're going to take this raw data, convert it into something useful for us. Now, to give you a quick analogy, think about your favorite food. Guys, head to the comment section, tell me what your favorite food is quickly, right? Now, not all the time your food is ready to eat, right? Sometimes it has to be cooked, sometimes it has to be fried, it has to be baked. There's a process which has to be done to take it from its raw form into something useful that you can eat, which is yum, which you absolutely love, right? Data science is this process, but instead of food, we're doing it to data. Data is raw. Data is something that you cannot use as it is. It has to be converted in most of the cases into something that's useful, right? Now, I'm not sure if you guys know this or not. Your computer only understands zeros and ones. Your phone understands only zeros and ones. Even though it seems to be getting more and more intelligent every day, at its core level, at its most deep functioning level, all it knows is 0 and 1. That is it. Right now, when we have that kind of a statement out and we're saying, okay, so we are having the most powerful computers around, well, what are we using this for? Right now, data science is one of these beautiful applications of bringing together a good amount of data and a good amount of computing power as well. Let me give you an example. The weather prediction one was an amazing example. Here's another one. Think about the holiday season, right? The holiday season was what, a month ago. When it's time for Christmas, when it's time for New Year, a lot of people buy a lot of things such as toys, desserts, ice creams, cakes. All these amazing things, sweaters. I absolutely love Christmas sweaters. Right, so there's many things that people keep buying during those times. Now, if you were a person who was selling all of these, how would you know how much to stock? How would you know what is the amount of sales that might happen for you, right? Now, you can predict all of this with the data that you have from last year or the years before, right? Now, last year you maybe had 100 customers walk in. There's a good chance you might have 120 people walk in, so you will buy 120 sweaters to sell. It is something simple. Now, I gave it to you in the scale of hundreds. This usually sells in the scale of millions across the world. Now, there is multiple companies who completely make use of data science for all of their day-to-day activities. Data science is like an ocean, right? Now, when I told you about the tsunami, this reminded me of another analogy. The domain itself is so absolutely huge that you guys as learners might definitely get confused about what to learn, how to learn, where to go about, right? So you will be left in a land where you might not know the language, you might not know something, you'll be very confused. Now, keeping that in mind, this is why we have this step-by-step guide, right? Now, when you're taking a look at why we require data science in terms of numbers, now I am a numbers guy. Whenever someone tells me something, I expect them to back it up with numbers rather than guesses, right? Here are some fabulous numbers on your screen which you might have not known about. The world's population is somewhere around or less than 7.6 billion people, but the number of emails we send every single day is 310 billion emails, right? Now, not all 7.5 billion people use computers and email, but look at the sheer amount of mails that we send. Now, if that amuses you, here is another fact. Think about the storage you have in your laptop or your computers right now, right? It's 500 GB hard drive, it can be 1 terabyte, it can be 2 terabytes, all of this. Did you know that the amount of data that we generate every single day is somewhere around 22 lakh terabytes? 22 lakh. This is not a yearly number of for 10 years. This is every single day. Every time the sun goes up and the sun goes down, we generate this amount of data, right? Uh, that is something which is astonishing. But to a data scientist, this is a very nice fact because in many cases, when we use very nice concepts such as machine learning, deep learning, artificial intelligence, all of these, more the data we have, the better we can teach our computers to use it and to help it understand what the data itself means, right? The disadvantage is we are generating a lot of data. The advantage to a data scientist is we can use all of these data to drive better solutions, right? So that is how this works. Again, guys, if you have any questions, make sure you head to the comment section and do let me know. I am monitoring all the comments on my mobile phone, so I'll be more than happy to tell you guys about it, right? Again, coming back to the food example, apple noodles, rice, fried rice, 2-minute Maggie. Now, you guys have put out your favorite foods. Now, there's a good chance you cannot eat all of them raw, right? For example, apple, yes, you can eat apple raw. Noodles, I highly doubt, but there are some people who eat noodles raw as well. Fried rice, of course, you cannot eat rice. You have to cook rice to eat, right? So that's the thing. That's where data gets converted into information. Beautiful. Now, moving on, one important question that you will have is, okay, so who is a data scientist? Now, a data scientist is a person who is like, let's say, a 4-in-1 person. Now, what do these four things consist of? First of all, a data scientist must be a mathematician. Mathematics, the concept of statistics, is extremely important in the field of data science. Now, it's a very common question we get saying, do we require mathematics for data science? If you ask me, the answer is an absolute yes. Without mathematics, you can learn data science, but without understanding how things work, later when you are learning the advanced concepts, things will come crumbling down because you do not know the foundations. If your foundations are very strong, you can build a fabulous career in data science, guys. So first of all, a data scientist is a person who is very, very good at mathematics. If you are not good at mathematics, if you weren't good at mathematics maybe in your school or college, do not worry. The maths we use here is extremely interesting. It will give you a feeling that you really want to learn it. That is how interesting things are here. Now, the second thing a data scientist is a trend spotter. Now, when I say trend spotter, what I actually mean is that this person needs to have the capability to understand what might happen in the future, right? Now, let me take you back a couple of years. Did you really think that people would play around with spinny little toys? Remember that I'm talking about the fidget spinner. The entire world went gaga, and everyone around the world, like literally everyone around me, wanted a fidget spinner, right? The young kids, the older people, even senior citizens were like, okay, I'm seeing the spinny thing on the internet. What is it? I want one. Now that's a trend. Guess what? A lot of people actually spotted that it's going to become a sensation, but they were like, okay, no, you know what? This is not going to happen. But they were wrong. They had data to prove it, saying this might hit or this might go viral. Now, data scientist is one such person who understands trends like this. The third thing is he or she must be a programmer, guys. You definitely need to work on programming. Now, you might say, okay, so we're looking at data, we're looking at science. Why do we require programming? Beautiful question. Now, data science is a concept where you are teaching your machine in many cases to work and make your job easier for you. So, for you to convey things to your machine, you are going to require programming, right? Now, programming can be multiple facets, I would say. Python is a very, very popular programming language when it comes to data science. You have for data analytics, you have the R programming languages. You have SAS, you have multiple different offerings, but there is a reason Python is the number one programming language in today's world. And for data science, it's a beautiful language to work with. I've used Python for multiple years now, and it's absolutely a breeze. I absolutely love Python, guys. So if you've ever used Python, head to the comment section and do let me know. And the fourth important thing we have to discuss is that a data scientist is a business manager. Now, if you're wondering why a data science guy needs to be knowing of a business aspect of things, let me tell you this. The first three, right? Mathematician, trend spotter, and programmer. These three guys will solve the problem. Whatever the problem is at hand, these three guys are more than enough to solve the problem. But to solve the problem in a given time frame, to make sure that they stick to the timeline of the company or the business that they're working for or the client, it becomes very, very important that they understand the business side of things, the business requirements, when to deliver the project, how they're supposed to deliver the project, and a lot more, right? So it's very, very important that you definitely look towards this kind of a thought process as well. I know I've had a lot of people saying, okay, so why is a business manager required? So I hope I answered that question with this particular guide. Step-by-step guide on how you guys can work towards becoming an expert in data science, right? let's dive right into it. The first step is to ask yourself certain questions. The first step is to make sure that you are clear with where you have to be. Now, the first question you can ask yourself is, do you have an educational background in computer science? Your answer might be yes, your answer might be no. Regardless of what your answer is, you can become a data scientist. Second thing, do programming languages excite you? Again, this is a question where if a programming language excites you, it's amazing, because as I've told you, programming is really, really fun if you know how to learn it and use it right. The third thing, are you a proactive learner who can learn new tools quickly? Now, we are living in the world of data, right? As I mentioned, data science is one of these domains where new tools, new techniques, new methodologies keep popping up every other day. So you have to be this person who is teachable, who is learnable, in a fact where you can learn new things quickly, adopt it, and start using it, guys. So this is a question where you might have to answer yes if you're looking towards a data science career. Now, the fourth question you might have to ask yourself is, do you enjoy handling complex data sets to understand patterns? Now, data science is one of these domains where we consider data to be a treasure trove. It's a box full of treasure, like how you would have seen in those pirate movies or how you would have seen in those cartoons, right? The more you start digging and hunting, the more gold you start picking up. In our case, gold is the information that we're looking for. So it's very vital that you enjoy this process of digging through the dirt to get to get not dirt per se, but digging through the soil to get to the gold, right? That is an important statement that I wanted to make to you guys. All right, now perfect. So step number one is this, guys. Make sure you ask yourself these questions. I've already told you the answers that you might have to say. The first question, the answer is going to be no, or it's going to be an yes. It doesn't matter. You do not need to have a compulsory computer science degree to become a data scientist. If you're from a mechanical background, you're from a non-technical background, you're from a civil background, you can become a data scientist with the right training. Make sure you stick till the end of this particular session. I'm going to guide you a little bit about how you can work towards becoming, working on your specializations in the field of data science. So step number one is to ask yourself questions, guys. Step number two is a nice important step. As I told you, mathematics and statistics are a very, very important aspect of data science. Now, mathematics is in a way where we talk about how a lot of things are involved in a computer learning aspects, right? When we talk about concepts of machine learning, in machine learning, your computer learns the data and it verifies if it has learned something, and eventually it gives you a result. To do all of that, I'm not sure if you guys know this or not, a lot of concepts of statistics, a lot of concepts of probability distributions, many concepts of statistics are very, very, very important there. So if you've seen the statement that I've put down in the PPT, it says the very keyword is highlighted and bold, right? There is a reason for that, because yes, it is that important, guys. Step number one, you're going to be asking yourself questions to make sure you know where you're headed. Step number two is a place where you are going to be looking at the side of mathematics, statistics, because these concepts are going to be foundational to what everything that you're going to build on top of it. If your foundation is weak, it's going to crumble down, it's going to fall down later, right? But if you are very strong in these concepts of mathematics and statistics, which is very popular for data science, well, trust me, it's going to help you a lot ahead. Now, after asking yourself questions after mathematics and statistics, step number three talks about machine learning. Machine learning is a beautiful subdomain in the world of data science, where, again, as I've been mentioning, without human intervention, your machine learns, understands, and it can work on its own in a very, very beautiful way. I am an absolute, I've been a fan of machine learning for so many years. I don't even remember how long it's been now. So in this particular case, one thing you as a data science prospect should understand is that machine learning is the key thing that's needed in today's world to solve data science. You already saw that we have a lot of data in today's world. We have a good amount of computing power, right? The world is headed towards quantum computing. Now, when that is the case, it becomes vital that you know that we have good amount of data, we have handling capabilities, and we're eventually bringing these two together to drive powerful solutions, right? Now, there are many cases where if there was a task which had to be manually done, that task would definitely take somewhere around maybe 30-35 days continuously, but a machine learning algorithm can do it in a matter of 30 seconds. Now, where is 30 days? Now, where is 30 seconds? If you were a business owner, what would you pick? 30 days of employee power, or less than 1 minute, half a minute of a computer's power, where it might not even take a lot of computing power as well, right? That is the power of machine learning, guys. Now, step number 3 is fantastic. Once you learn machine learning, what do you do? Where do you go? This is where step number 4 is important. Step number 4 talks about you guys learning programming languages. To work with the machine, to help your machine understand it, a programming language is vital, as I've just mentioned. Now, using a programming language, you definitely can work towards finding a simple way to talk to your machine. Now, if you are this person who says, I don't like programming, I find programming very complex, I don't understand programming, Python is one such programming language which might change your thought and your approach into programming, because Python is a beautiful programming language which uses syntax which is a high level syntax. It means that it is very, very similar to the English language that we use when we are talking and we are writing down things. When that is the case, it becomes so much easier to communicate with your machine that it really will not feel a strain on you guys. If you, for example, this was a question I was just asked yesterday by one of my friends. She asked saying, do I have to write 300 lines of code to go on to create a simple machine learning algorithm or model? The answer is an absolute no. To create a very simple binary classifier in machine learning, the maximum amount of code that you can write is somewhere around 20 lines or 15 lines of code. The entire process of machine learning is only 15 or 20 lines of code, not 300, not 400, right? It is that simple, guys. So, okay, so let me take up questions. I'm interested in machine learning concepts. What is the difference between machine learning engineer and data scientist? What is the scope? Which has better scope in the future? Okay, it's a very good question. Now, when you're taking a look at a career in either machine learning or data science, the first thing you have to understand is that machine learning is a subdomain of data science, right? Now, a data scientist can probably do everything that a machine learning engineer can, but the reverse is not possible in many cases. To talk about the future scope about which is better, now understand this. There is an equal requirement for data scientists and machine learning engineers across the globe, because sometimes a data scientist adds value in other things apart from machine learning, while a machine learning engineer can only work towards the advanced complex concepts that are involved in machine learning. The future prospects of both the things, the trends are absolutely amazing. So you have nothing to worry about when you are looking towards that domain. Zahid says, please do a full advanced course on NoSQL. Zahid, your point is noted. We are going to push this out to the concerned team and make sure that we are working on it. Right. Surat says, what is the difference between data analytics and data science? Now, data analytics talks about how you can just use data from the past and present to try to see if you can predict the future. But data science is a concept where you will talk about everything: creation of data, storage of data, cleaning the data, using the data, eventually making sure you solve the problem with the data. Right now, all of this is very different from what a data analyst does as well. And that's a very simple way of how I can put it out. Right, guys, coming to step number 5. Step number 5 talks about data handling. As I just mentioned, in data science, data is literally the first name of data science, right? So having data, not only just storing data, but working with it is something which is very, very important. To store data, now you can store it in multiple places. The most common thing is a database. Now, a database can be, locally. It can be in your office, it can be in your home, it can be on a cloud storage. It can be data from your competitor's website. It can be data from social media. Well, I think as you can guess, I can go on and on, right? So data is this entity that you can pick up and use from literally everywhere around you. Now, when this becomes the case, and especially for data science, if we can make use of all of this data, you have to know how to use it, right? Now, to do it, you need to understand how you can work with databases. Now, there's two types of databases: relational databases, NoSQL databases. To work with it, you're going to require a language, an open source programming language or a scripting language called as a structured query language. And of course, there's many other languages that you can use as well. Now, if you have the knowledge of this, you can add data onto a database, manipulate it, delete it, store it, add security methodologies. You can do a lot of things to make sure the step one is ready. Step one is where you would store the data for later usage, right? That is an important aspect of a data scientist role that you will definitely have complete clarity over as well. So, step five is a very important step, which is data handling. Coming to step number six talks about visualization. Now, ladies and gentlemen, there's a very common saying, that's in fact true, that says that the human brain can comprehend images 10,000 times faster than text. Now, there is a reason that this is the case, right? As humans, whenever we look at images, whenever we look at pictures, we find it more attractive than just looking at a lot of text. That is a very important thing that you should understand, especially if you're considering a career in data science, because in this aspect, in this career, there will come a time when you will have to explain the result to a non-technical audience. Now, when you're explaining things to a non-technical audience, if they do not know what data science is, and if you're rambling about numbers, algorithms, all these complex concepts, well, they would not understand anything. Right now, if you're explaining this to an MBA, he or she might not understand what you're saying. So it becomes very, very vital that you know how you can convert these complex looking numbers into beautiful looking visualizations. When I say visualizations, I mean graphs, I mean charts, I mean dashboards. It is just you taking numbers and converting it into an art form that is beautiful to look at, right? That's why I've put in the statement saying storytelling with data is an art. You have to be an artist, on the inside to definitely become a good data scientist, guys. Right. Now, when we are taking a look at step number seven is very, very important, because here is somewhere, this is a step where you'll be using the previous step. Step number six spoke about visualizations. Step number seven talks about how you can use visualizations to put it to effect, right? Now, with multiple visualizations, you can create a beautiful looking dashboard, you can create a report. This report is what you are going to use to convey things to a non-technical audience, or convey it to board members also, right? So if you cannot do this, and if you show your board members maybe an Excel sheet which has like what, 10 lakh entries, well, they might not understand what you're saying. Right now, even if you show a very complex looking data set to a data scientist, he or she might not understand upfront, but you convert it into a beautiful looking graph. Say that this is the x-axis, this is the y-axis, this is what we are trying to do. Guess what, it is going to there is a good chance that that person, 90% chance that the person might understand what you're saying, even though you don't have to explain it, right? That is the power of visualization, that is the power of reporting, guys. Now, guys, again, make sure you talk about talk about how you have used visualizations in the past. Have you used beautiful looking graphs whenever you are in your school time, college time, whatever it is? Head to the comment section and let me know. I am watching all of your comments in the chat section, guys, so make sure you head there and let me know. All right, perfect. Now, let me quickly take a look at all your comments and we can resume. Right, give me 1 second, guys. Okay, beautiful. Subhashish has a very good question. What is the starting salary for a data scientist? Subhashish, we're going to discuss this. Make sure you stick around. Where can I found data scientist jobs? Well, I would highly suggest you look towards all these very familiar and the big data, big job hunt sites. For example, LinkedIn is amazing. You can check out Indeed, Monster.com. You have multiple different places, but the most important thing that's going to help you, Subhashish, is definitely a networking. So make sure you are talking to data scientists. Make sure your friends, family members, or just reach out to data scientists to get recommendations, and then you can definitely work on getting a job in data science as well. Right, guys, now coming to step number 8. Step number 8 talks about how you definitely require practical knowledge. Working on industry level projects and use cases will give you a feel of how it's going to be when you become a real data scientist, right? Now, a good certification program will definitely give you access to multiple practical projects. It will definitely give you access to how you can use your practical learning. Right now, theory is very, very important for data science. Important thing. it's not only theory, it's how you can use this theory to use eventually practical usage is everything, right? Now when you look out for a job, when you are in an interview or something, there's a very good chance the question they might ask is, what have you done with your learning? Now why is a hiring manager curious about what you have done, right? It shows that you are not only strong in the theoretical concepts of things, but you can practically convey it, use it to eventually solve a problem. Guys, step number 8 is a very, very important step. Make sure you are putting in a good amount of time to work on projects. Step number 8 is probably the most important step that we have on this guide, so make a note of all of this, guys. Right, with this we can come to step number 9. Step number 9 is something which you should spend a good amount of time with, is to understand what's going on around you in the world of data science, right? This is a very, very big domain. As I told you, you cannot learn everything there is to learn in a matter of years as well. So what should you do to make sure that you get a good job in data science, or that you know everything that there is to know about this domain? The most important thing that I would highly suggest is take a look at the current trends. Now, if you just do a simple Google search after this session, putting saying Google in Google saying data science trends for 2021, you will find a list of so many things which will take off in the field of data science in this particular year, right? Now, if you put your time and effort into working towards that, there's a good chance at the end of it that the light at the end of the tunnel here is going to be beautiful for you, because that is what people are looking for, and you are a person who can do it. So to stay at the top of your domain, to make sure you're ahead of the competition, always look at trends, work on trends, and make sure that you are aligned in a way that you're going parallelly with these trends as well, ladies and gentlemen. Now, coming to step number 10, step number 10 talks about one very important thing. If you're a fresher especially, is to build a domain specific resume. Now, a lot of cases, a lot of profiles that I have screened is usually one resume for multiple jobs. That is the wrong thing to do. Make sure that you have a resume which is specific to that domain, specific to that job. Every job description, every requirement is different from the other, right? So to make sure that you are catering to this thing, you have to customize your resume and work on it. So this is the most important part. The resume is the most important document in your career that's going to help you find a job. So make sure at step number 10 that you are working on your resume in an important fashion.
Data science is the art of extracting insights from data, and a data scientist is the expert making it happen, from data cleaning to machine learning and visualization. With the right skills, data scientists drive decisions and fuel innovation across industries.